Luka Dončić just went off on Bronny James live on TV. Fans are losing it over what he said next.
Man, I came here to win rings, not babysit anyone.
That
One statement just shook the Lakers. While fans were focused on the Kings beating them on January 13th, the real chaos was happening behind the scenes. Reports say a fight broke out in the tunnel between Rich Paul and Austin Reeves' agent over a plan to trade Reeves just to give Bronny more playing time. That IT gets worse. LeBron and JJ Redick also reportedly clashed, and some of the veteran players have started blaming Bronny for the tension. The wildest part? It all started because of a single message Bronny sent in the team group chat. Before we get into that leaked message, let's recap January 13th. On paper, the Lakers lost to the Sacramento Kings 124-112. But the real drama started in the tunnel after the game. The tension was so thick you could almost feel it through the screen. Normally, the team keeps stuff like this private, but not this time. Witnesses on the ground, including ESPN's Dave McMenamin, say Reggie Berry from AMR Agency was already waiting. Berry, who represents Austin Reeves, wasn't there for a casual chat. He was there to confront Rich Paul. Imagine being a fan in the front row, watching two of the most powerful agents in sports going at it before the players even entered the locker room. And here's why Berry was so upset. See, Austin Reeves is about to sign a $200 million max contract, life-changing money that could define a legacy. And Reggie Berry is accusing Rich Paul of trying to mess with Reeves' career just to keep Bronny James in the rotation. You might be asking, how does Bronny even fit into this? And how could Rich Paul be sabotaging Reeves when he's been out injured? We'll get to that, but first, things got even crazier. While security was pulling the agents apart, something worse was happening behind the locker room doors. LeBron finally confronted JJ Redick and revealed a hidden clause in Redick's contract that Luka was never supposed to see. That's when it all started to make sense that T.O. understand why these powerful men were almost throwing punches in the tunnel. We have to go back to November 15th, the night LeBron changed the franchise. The Lakers played the Bucks, and on paper it looked like a huge win. Luka scored 41 points and led the team to victory. But the rotation told a different story. Bronny James started the game, but played only 10 minutes, going 0-4-2 with no points or impact. At this level, a single bad game can weigh on the whole team. Every minute Luka had to play while carrying Bronny was a minute lost in his MVP run. Think about it. Luka is 26 in his absolute prime, and every night he's being asked to carry a legacy project across the finish line. It's not just about points, it's about energy. At MVP level, you expect the guys next to you to at least hold their own. But with Bronny on the floor that night, the Lakers' net rating dropped to -4.2. That's huge for a team that technically won the game. It shows the Lakers weren't winning with Bronny. They were winning despite him. Reggie Redick finally hit his limit during that game. Insiders say he completely lost it on the sidelines, screaming at Bronny to shoot the ball before benching him for the rest of the night. That was the moment the silent agreement broke. Rumor has it LeBron handpicked Reich for this job on one condition. Bronny plays whenever Luka is on the court. Reich was supposed to quietly train him in real games alongside Luka, turning it into a future Lakers project disguised as a title run. But when the Bucks started exposing Bronny on every possession, Reich realized he couldn't both protect the project and win the game. After that Bucks game, Luka officially went rogue. In an interview, he made it clear he's here to win championships, not babysit anyone. If someone needs to develop, they can go to the G League.
Man, I came here to win rings, not babysit anyone.
That one comment turned the Lakers' locker room into a war zone. LeBron wasn't even playing that night because of his sciatica, but he reportedly went full Papa Bear, yelling at Reich for breaking the arrangement. This wasn't just a disagreement. It was the start of Team Luka versus Team Clutch. Rich Paul saw LeBron's influence slipping and went on the offensive. If Luka wasn't going to help develop Bronny, Paul decided to pull strings to remind everyone who really runs the Lakers he didn't suggest trading Bronny. That would be too obvious. Instead, on January 13th, the same night the Lakers lost to the Kings, Paul went on his Game Over podcast and targeted the one player Luka actually liked, Austin Reeves. He started calling Reeves an asset instead of a teammate and argued that if the Lakers wanted to protect Luka's defense, they needed to trade Reeves for a defensive anchor like Jaren Jackson Jr.
If I was the Lakers, I would probably be targeting the Memphis Grizzlies as a trade partner
For?
Jaren Jackson.
Yeah. That'd be a great fit.
I would
For whom?
one scenario, right? Or you could say, let me withhold that, but this comes with
Austin Reeves.
This comes with a very unemotional attachment.
It was a straight-up blackmail move. Rich Paul was basically telling Luka that if he didn't start going along with Bronny, his best friend, Austin Reeves, would be shipped out of Los Angeles. The goal was to isolate Luka and strip him of allies. Think about the psychological game here. Rich Paul and LeBron were saying, "We control your environment. We decide who stays and who goes." They were trying to force Luka into becoming a mentor for Bronny by threatening to take away the one person who made playing in LA enjoyable. That's what sparked the altercation between Rich Paul and Reggie Berry in the tunnel later that night. Reggie wasn't going to let Austin Reeves be used as a pawn in their game. But Rich Paul didn't realize the tension ran much deeper than a podcast comment. Luka was sitting on a secret that had already made him lose respect for the James family months earlier. This wasn't just about playing time. He felt betrayed. And it all traces back to one leaked message Bronny sent in the team group chat. That message proved this was never just about basketball. It was always a vanity project for the James family. The leak didn't just expose the family business-style management. It shook the relationship between LeBron and his best friend, Anthony Davis. If you think the tunnel fight in January was just about one bad game, you're missing the bigger picture. To see where the Lakers really started collapsing from within, you have to go back to February 1st, 2025. That was the day the NBA landscape changed forever. The Luka for Davis trade went from a no-way rumor to a done deal. But it wasn't just the trade. It was how the players found out. According to the book A Hollywood Ending by Uren Weitzman, the trade was supposed to be a secret front office move to protect the locker room. Players were meant to hear it directly from management. But instead, Bronny James reportedly saw Shams Charania's tweet and immediately shared it in the team group chat. Now imagine being Anthony Davis. You've carried this franchise, won a ring, and pushed your body to the limit on defense. And then you find out you're being shipped to Dallas. All because a rookie, who just happens to be your teammate's son, dropped a link in the chat. Davis's response? Cold.
I can't believe this, man. They just traded me to the worst franchise in NBA history.
LeBron also reacted with a what the heck text, but don't get it twisted. He wasn't just surprised. He was panicking. He hadn't just lost his best friend, his number 2, and defensive anchor in Anthony Davis. He now had to share the spotlight with Luka. LeBron has spent 20 years as the undisputed king of the NBA solar system. And suddenly, the Lakers bring in a 25-year-old superstar who might be better than him in almost every way. That's where the tension and the hate started. LeBron had hoped that after he retired, the Lakers' spotlight would naturally go to Bronny. But Luka's arrival blew up that plan. You can't market a prince when there's already a king in his absolute prime. Right now, Luka is the NBA's leading scorer at 33.6 points per game, putting up historic numbers every night, and the Lakers are still barely a .500 team. Why? Nepotism. When Luka and Bronny share the floor, the Lakers' net rating drops to -4.2. Think about that. The best defensive player in the world is being dragged down because the roster is clogged with Bronny James. Luka is playing 10 times harder than anyone else, logging heavy minutes just to support a father-son vanity project. And if you know Luka's DNA, you understand why this situation makes him sick. Luka didn't get a handout to the NBA. He turned pro at 13 in Madrid, playing against grown men with families to support while he was still in middle school. He has zero patience for players who didn't earn their spot. In Luka's mind, if you can't perform, you don't stay. Even legends notice it. Charles Barkley went on inside the NBA and didn't hold back, calling out the situation.
They're going to move on, and I think that's the right thing to do. At some point, you got to turn the team over to Luka and Austin, and that's the only way you can start, because you can't be paying him $50 million a year to be the third best player on a team.
That statement hit LeBron where it hurts. He's never been a third option, not in Miami, and definitely not in Cleveland. Now that Luka is the undisputed alpha, LeBron is reportedly using Bronny's minutes as a tool for control. It's like he's saying, I might not be the best player anymore, but I still run the rotation. But if you think this is just about playing time or ego, you're wrong. This feud is personal, and it's been brewing for years. Wait until you see the footage from November 2025, the moment LeBron actually refused to shake Luka's hand.